out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole. I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Hello everyone, and welcome to Kevin's Seventh Heaven. That was the poem Invictus by William Ernest Henley. Henley was born on August 23, 1849. He was one of 6 children and the son of a bookseller. At 12 years old, he developed tuberculosis of the bones, which would eventually lead to the amputation of his left leg below the knee. There were many moments of great pain in this young man's life, as they would have to drain the abscesses that came with his condition. However, after each of these treatments, his brother Joseph would recall that William would hop around the room, laughing loudly and playing with zest to pretend he was beyond the reach of pain. It was this affliction that helped create one of the great literary characters of all time. In his adult life, Henley was a part of the great literary circles of the time that included many of the great and well-known authors of the day. Robert Louis Stevenson once wrote to him saying this, "I will now make a confession. It was the sight of your maimed strength and masterfulness that begot Long John Silver. The idea of the maimed man, ruling and dreaded by the sound, was entirely taken from you." However, we learn from Stevenson's stepson, Lloyd Osborne, that more than Henley's affection may have been poured into Long John Silver. He said of Henley, "A great, glowing, massive-shouldered fellow with a big red beard and a crutch, jovial, astoundingly clever, and with a laugh that rolled like music. He had an unimaginable fire and vitality. He swept one off one's feet." On an interesting side note, Henley and his wife, Hannah Johnson Boyle, had a daughter named Margaret Emma Henley in 1888. She was a sickly child from the start and would only make it to be around 5 years old. Yet, in her short life, she also would be the inspiration for another well-known literary character. She met and befriended J.M. Barrie sometime during her life when he was around 18 to 23 years old. In fact, her little nickname for him was Friendy, but being a young child, she could not pronounce her R's correctly, so it became Fwendy Wendy. This led to her being tributed by the characters Wendy Darling and Wendy's granddaughter Margaret in Peter Pan. So, Long John Silver is Wendy's dad. Henley would eventually fall off a railway car, which would cause his latent tuberculosis to flare up. He died on July 11, 1903. Invictus is considered to be one of his hospital poems, or those poems he wrote while trying to heal in hospital. He wrote them about the plight of those around him, but Invictus spoke more about him than those around him. It is a powerful poem that has been quoted by people in all walks of life, from Winston Churchill to Aung San Suu Kyi to President Obama to the last words of Oklahoma City bomber Timothy McVeigh to the Pro Football Hall of Fame speech of Green Bay Packers offensive lineman Jerry Kramer, to some of the chapter titles in Prince Harry's new book, Spare. I think the most notable use of it was by Nelson Mandela to get him through the 27 years he spent in prison on Robben Island. He loved how it spoke of self-mastery. To me, its power comes from its positivity, through this immense blanket of negativity that is the world surrounding this poem. So with all that in mind, let me read it to you one more time. Invictus. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole. I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloodied but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my faith. I am the captain of my soul. Thanks for listening to some thoughts and history. Ta-ta for now. Love you all.